Today's episode of EU4 will be very unique and a major challenge because I'll be playing as an English colony, but not starting from this date. I'll begin in the year it first appears on the map, which is 1626. The goal of this episode will be to progress to the period of the American War of Independence and, of course, win it against England. Under one condition, I cannot gain independence beforehand. This presents a few problems. In Central and South America, there are powerful Spanish colonies. I'll have to participate in every foolish English war, which might not necessarily work in my favor. Additionally, a portion of my income will have to be sent to England. I also have a generic and rather uninteresting mission tree, along with already chosen less than ideal ideas. So, a lot of challenges I've never faced before in this game. It could be interesting. Probably not. Hello imperialists, Lucas here. Alright, I need to focus on a few things at the start. So, I'm choosing a colonial policy to claim new territories as quickly as possible. I'm also Calvinist, which isn't great for colonization. I much prefer being Protestant, so I'm switching my faith right away. Luckily, as a colony, I don't care at all about religious unrest in my country. However, Protestants have that very powerful aspect of faith that significantly speeds up colonization. I might switch back to Calvinism later on. Oh no, I don't have estates, that's going to hurt. A lot. My income is also very low. Honestly, I can't even afford basic advisors. One good thing though is the colony type assigned by my ruler. Right now, I'm a crown colony. That's not ideal though, as I'd much rather be a self-governing colony to get an extra colonist. Still, this colony can conquer quite a bit. I'll also use a policy to boost my income and increase Republican tradition. That should come in handy. Essentially, I need to prepare for rapid expansion in this region. If I don't grow quickly, the native tribes will eventually catch up in technology and could conquer me without much trouble. So there's no hesitation. I'll focus on administrative actions since I'll need plenty of admin points. Additionally, I'm starting a spy network on all nations I can make claims against, especially since the Native American federations are already forming practically right away. I'm sending my first colonists around my capital to establish a solid base before expanding my borders further. Oh, Great Britain is sharing knowledge with me. Great! But I absolutely can't afford a colony. 2 colonists are costing me negative 3.29 gold. Hey, could you give me subsidies? If you've ever wondered why your colonies don't colonize independently, here's your answer. But I have to admit, I've got some impressive colonial growth stats. 120 settlers per year and a 24% monthly chance of attracting new settlers. That's a lot. Alright, in the end, I'll develop only one colony at a time because I just can't afford 2. Not if I want to conquer territories simultaneously. First claims are in and we're attacking. The natives stand no chance against me, honestly. But it's going to be a bit annoying because they can easily capture my distant territories. I declared one war and Great Britain declared another. Not great. Come on, they want to abandon my colony and look, I'm already halfway through it. Otherwise I'll have to take on 100 gold in debt. Great start to this story. First conquests and I'm already 200 gold in the hole. And immediately after, Great Britain declared another war. I can't even core my new territories yet. Now I'm starting to understand how my colonies must have felt when I expanded like this. There's something big and orange here. Could be a Dutch colony, right? Yep, it's the Netherlands and they've got independence guaranteed by France. So I'll have to wait for their colony to form so I can conquer it right away. It might be worth making territorial claims, but not attacking just yet. My colony's governor is fairly young, so I'd like to keep him in charge for longer. That'll give me more monarch points over time. Finally, some positive events. Honestly, I want those points. I'll also work on building favors with Great Britain because I just realized they can occasionally send me money. The first faith aspect is definitely going to be settlers. More is better. Hey, maybe it won't be so bad. Look, Great Britain might conquer some territories for me. I'm developing my capital in Massachusetts to level 20 using both administrative and diplomatic points. I need to start earning money as soon as possible. France has founded its first colony, French Canada, which is actually good news. It instantly becomes my closest rival. That's pretty cool actually. Maybe a humiliation war is in order, right? Never mind building favors with England, that's just not feasible. Alright, I decided to visit my French neighbors. I could complete the high income mission, but it's not really the right moment for that. Generally, this mission is best done when you've heavily built up your country, like with manufactories, because it also accelerates construction. I also stole some maps from the natives to finally see what's around here. Unfortunately, England isn't too keen on selling me theirs. I'm winning the humiliation war against French Canada, which nets me 100 of each monarch point. Now I'm colonizing the Maryland area. I noticed some really good territories for development here since they don't have penalties. Pretty good, or the penalties are very low. I'm not attacking these natives for now, I just don't have enough troops, not yet. I need to be able to field at least 15,000 men, so for now, I'll focus on developing my provinces, especially where it's cheapest. I'll also start converting cultures to English wherever I can. It's worth doing because there are so many native cultures here. The costs aren't high, 5 points, 3 points, it's worth converting them all to English. When you don't accept a culture, look at the penalties you get. I'm also embracing institutions which will allow me to adopt technologies at a lower cost. I've got 6 merchants, but there's not much use for them since they won't bring significant benefits. New rivals have appeared, Hispaniola and Florida. Honestly, Hispaniola scares me a bit, but not Florida. I can even afford 2 colonies simultaneously now, losing just 1 gold. Not bad. Alright, I'm issuing an edict to develop Virginia further. And so, I'm developing these provinces to level 15. Well, except for Jamestown, there are swamps and fish here. Jamestown was probably the first English colony, right? Let me know in the comments. Wow, more and more settlers are arriving. Awesome! This speeds up the development of my provinces. I won't hold back on spending because I've practically tripled my income already. It's definitely worth claiming as much new territory as possible. And the French have arrived. Luckily, they don't want my colony, they're after Newfoundland. In Europe, the French probably can't do much to the British. I'm counting on the British showing up here and destroying the French army, otherwise I'm in big trouble. Just in case, I've also increased my army size. I'll also attack the Iroquois because honestly, it's much easier to defeat one nation with 30,000 troops than 6 nations with 5,000 each. Really, it's much simpler. And taking territory from the Iroquois would be a significant success. I'm facing a tough choice now, I need to pick the next ideas for my country. I think it's a bit too late to take exploration ideas for them to make any sense. I won't be conquering any large nations, so diplomatic ideas don't seem useful either. I've got too many merchants as it is, so trade ideas are also out, so it really boils down to whether I want to conquer or develop. I'll check how much it costs to integrate provinces from the Iroquois after this war because I didn't pay attention to that earlier. Oh my god, I'm done for. British fleet, where are you? I'm not even asking for an army to fight the French, just the fleet would help. Alright, integrating these new provinces is a bit costly, so I'll also check the cost of incorporating provinces after colonization. But I think I'll declare war on Florida soon. Let's see if I can handle the French army. I've got 117 discipline to their 105. How is that even possible? Well, I inflicted losses, but winning this war is going to be tough overall. At least a small British army has finally appeared. I'm wondering if I can conquer Florida for myself because, as I see it, it's currently under native occupation. End of embargo? I had an embargo? Hey, that was beneficial. Don't take it away. But now Britain is supporting my army, giving me 10% of their manpower. That's great. And I can't believe it, the war is over, but I suffered significant losses. Where are Britain's losses? Great, the coalition against me is starting to dissolve. And honestly, right after that, I'm attacking Spanish Florida. I'll decide whether I want to conquer the territories or take as much money from them as possible. That side, 36,000 Spanish troops. Wow, honestly, I'm not sure I even want to conquer these territories. I just realized Spain has 200,000 troops. They'll just come and retake the territories. I won't hold on to anything. And Britain has only 40,000 troops? Seriously, they can only muster 59,000 soldiers? What happened to make them such a weak country? I'll also take over this colony from the Spanish. Conquering all of Florida will give me almost 200 gold and 46 aggressive expansion points. I don't see Spain in a coalition against me. I've built up 26 aggressive expansion points with them. It's not bad, but worse yet, they want my provinces. Oh ho ho, it seems my independence desire is growing because the British supported my government to keep me from rebelling, but I was close to 50%, honestly. Too bad this doesn't mean I get that money in my budget. I also need to conquer the local native tribes. Without that, my colonies are split in two. There's a mountain range here and this is the only pass to cross it. The prices of fur and salt have also changed. And honestly, this works to my advantage. I've got quite a bit of fur here. Newly acquired territories have been annexed and added to the states. Now I'm lowering their autonomy. Hey, I have to say, it's starting to come together, really starting to take shape. I can also feel the 30,000 strong army now. So, bigger than New Spain? Something's off because they can have 51,000 troops. Meanwhile, I'm raiding French colonies to make them pay tribute. France really doesn't seem like it's going to let up, honestly. And I have to admit, it would be helpful if England found a strong ally, preferably Spain or someone like that. I was originally going to pursue administrative ideas, but I've ultimately decided to go for mercenaries. Let's be honest, I'm not going to catch up on manpower, I'll need mercenaries to fight wars in the area. I'm also introducing Castilian and Mexican cultures as accepted in my nation. Although this time the war with France seems to be going better because at least the British fleet is doing something. I finally almost connected my colonies into a single whole, just a little more to go. I've also finally paid off all my loans. It took a really long time. The second war with France is over and luckily Great Britain seems to have taken all of France's colonies. Hey, whose side will Great Britain take? Interesting question. Unfortunately I can't conquer another English colony. Alright, it's time to start building my first structures and there'll be workshops. Now I'm moving on to conquer the Cree because if I don't, Florida will. And I can't believe it, but I can't even conquer all of Cree's territory. So I'm taking money from them to build a few more buildings and I'll finish conquering them in the Second War. This will still give me a lot of aggressive expansion, but I'm not worried because it's mostly with the Native Americans. Fortunately, it seems I'm not directly bordering New Spain yet, so they probably won't attack me. There's Florida and Spanish Louisiana here, so I'll be able to conquer these nations before going to war with New Spain. Especially since they've already increased their army size. I'd forgotten how annoying wars are in this region without forts. Right now I can't afford them, I have to build up my economy. I'm ignoring them, not chasing them, I'm heading straight to capture the capital. Interesting, Great Britain attacked the Cree on my casus belli. Could I get that province sooner than I thought? I have to admit, that's an unexpected success. Yes, I got everything. I'm nearing the limit of what I can conquer, so I'll have to hold off for a while. But I must say, this colony is really starting to look good, and I've only been playing for 40 years. Historically, I should be much smaller. It's time to conquer Florida again. And I think I'll push into Louisiana to take all that land for myself too, just with breaks and before dealing with New Spain. They'll have far more troops than I do, but I've finished my ideas for mercenaries. This means I practically have Prussian discipline plus 10% for mercenaries. I've also reached the 5th level of my government reforms. Now I can afford a lot of very cheap mercenaries. I didn't conquer all of Florida because I see another Spanish province here, and I don't want to end up with 2 to 3 provinces belonging solely to Spain. Let it all go to Florida again. From Louisiana, I'll only take 1 province for now, plus a lot of money. This is just so I can border New Mexico. And now the worst part, suppressing all the rebellions here in the meantime. Alright, recruiting a mercenary company and attacking New Spain. We'll see if I can pull this off or if I've just signed my own death warrant. Fortunately, my mercenaries have a really solid general, so this should give us the win. Oh, beautiful! Spain has intervened though, so I have to concede. Spain has 250,000 troops, and from what I've seen, they're keeping a lot of them in New Spain. Well, since Spain didn't work out, I'm conquering New Netherlands instead. Uh-oh, it seems Great Britain is changing its attitude toward me, though somehow I'm still loyal to them, for now. Currently, I have 680 development, and Great Britain has 962 in total, half of which is mine, isn't it? What the heck? At least the Polish Commonwealth has good allies, gotta admit. As time goes by, the ties between our former homeland and the colonies grow weaker. The settlers in Cape Fear barely associate themselves with their ancestral home anymore. They now prefer to think of themselves as Americans, and this sentiment is beginning to spread throughout North Carolina. A new culture is emerging in the colonies. And honestly, I don't know what to do now because this is going to cause problems. But historically, let's make American culture my primary one. There might be more events, I don't know exactly how this works, but it probably means I have to accept English culture. At least I didn't have to pay for it. Oh, though I'm in the same culture group as English, making a second attempt on New Spain. If Spain blocks this war again, I won't drag it out. I'll declare a planned bankruptcy for my colonies. New Spain's army may be large, but it's not very effective. And it doesn't have many cannons, now it has even fewer. The Spanish troops are retreating to a very strange location. I won't deny it, this might give me a chance to wipe out the entire Spanish army. And I think I've done it. Yes! Stack wipe! Now part of my army is heading straight to New Spain's capital, and part is being sent to suppress rebellions and possibly intercept their army. Alright, not much money from this war. I'll probably spend it on introducing an institution instead. By the way, let me know if the colors on the map have become more vibrant for you since this point. I changed my screen settings. In the meantime, I've already implemented a parliament that will handle converting my provinces. I still have quite a few of those to convert. I want to get it done as soon as possible to get this issue off my plate. Honestly, I don't see the American culture spreading on its own yet. I don't see anything like that here. Tough choice. What should I pick here? Out of curiosity, let's go with bureaucratic, because I need a lot of those points. 52 years isn't great, but I'll take this option. And yes, I'll get the bonus. 6 to 2? Awesome! It's time to establish a national bank, and of course, lower interest rates make me happy. Finally, the moment has come to complete this mission. Yes, it will reduce construction costs and give me an additional advisor, and it speeds up construction for 25 years. I've attacked New Spain again. I didn't even realize that 7 years had already passed. But New Spain's army poses no challenge for me, so there's no point in showing anything more here. I've also started building forts across my country, just level 2 ones for now. And I think it's time to begin my bankrupt building spree. I have a ton of manufactories to construct, a ridiculous amount. Let's see, for now I have 114 gold in total income. So yes, I'm keeping all the livestock, fish and grain provinces to build manufactories focused on manpower there. Yes, I have mercenary ideas, but I could always use some extra manpower. Am I imagining it, or has the White House been significantly nerfed? It used to have a minus to autonomy in territories. XD, after building manufactories, I'm even in the green now. And I still have new production buildings to construct. My loan limit has basically doubled, so I'm going all in. And after building counting houses, I now have 257 gold income, meaning I've almost tripled my income in 3 to 4 years. The graph looks good indeed, and now I'm ranked as the second richest country in the world at this point. And all this cost me only 55,000 ducats. The next ideas I decided to take are administrative ones. I'll want to conquer quite a bit more territory as the United States in the near future, so this could come in handy. Now I'm building universities. I have to admit I got distracted and lost 4 years of time. The last buildings I'm putting up are simply town halls. And now I wait until January 1st, 1715. In the meantime, I'm developing my provinces, mainly to level 10. Because that gives me an extra building slot, so I want to focus on that. I'm only in debt by around 115,000. Inflation might be a problem later though, and I'll need to bring it down. But that's my own fault. I got distracted for 5 years and should have focused more on construction. Oh, a new era has begun. The age of revolutions. And it's also the best time to declare bankruptcy since 5 years have passed. Much better already. Now I have to survive another 5 years, but during this period I need to deal with the high devastation in my country. So I have to patch up all the gaps in fortifications and build basic level 2 forts to bring the devastation down as quickly as possible. I'm not completing this mission yet, only after I deal with the devastation. Then I'll get much more money. Oh no, war. Okay, I just have to hold out for 3 years. Oh, never mind, it's Hispaniola, that's not so bad. It seems Louisiana has fallen apart. How did that happen? I don't know why they're declaring war on me if they're not even invading. But now it's too late because my bankruptcy has just ended. Oh, the Ottoman Empire has fallen and become a revolutionary empire. That happens quite often in my campaigns. What's going on here? Austria-Hungary, Spain's territories. Turkey has literally ceased to exist. The Mughals are massive and Spain is pushing into India instead of Britain. What's happening in this world when I'm not taking part in it? That doesn't change the fact that I still have around 50 years. My colonies are already powerful, truly powerful. I'm now preparing for war with Louisiana, the new Spanish Empire, Spanish Carolina and Pacifico Norte as well, to claim territories for myself. What's this? A war between Spain and Austria-Hungary over some personal union. Over Russia? That's ridiculous. I hope Spain doesn't win that. Let's say I've managed to handle inflation. I'm introducing the Enlightenment, which will lower the cost of converting my territories to a different culture. I won't be able to conquer much of Louisiana. Industrialization. And I just noticed that I have a few provinces with coal. I need to develop them to level 20, which will probably be expensive. It looks like I might face some challenges in the next war with New Spain. They have nearly 200,000 troops, but they might be elsewhere now since Spain is at war with the Mughal Empire. Although it seems like it'll be easier than expected because my opponents have much weaker armies than I do. Honestly, I'm not even paying attention to how well I'm doing. It's going great. Really, Spain? Really? And once again, I've crushed their army. The first upgrade I'll take is the artillery damage bonus. I've seen how strong that is, so I'll rely on it even more. I've even set 2 armies to automation. I don't feel like managing them. I'm using my combined forces to try to crush the enemy when they enter my territory. This time I want to conquer quite a few provinces. Conquering these new territories cost me 600 points. Only 72 aggressive expansion points? Okay. Ugh, and Britain ruined my borders by declaring war on Spanish colonies just to annex them. Luckily I managed to claim a lot of territory for myself, but now my borders in Mexico look awful. They were nice before. And essentially my 13 colonies have really expanded and I still have 25 years until the War of Independence. I'm so powerful now that I've long since reached 100% liberty desire. I could have declared war for independence against England ages ago. Now I need to focus on developing the western and central states. As you can see, only the east coast is fully developed in pretty much everything. Ugh, it's annoying how much trade income I'm losing here. Unfortunately, it's unavoidable since I'm giving half my trade power to Britain. That's because I'm still a colony. After a few years, I managed to fix the borders. They look a bit better. July 3rd, 1776. I declare war on England for independence. Sorry Americans, you'll have to rewrite your textbooks. I really don't like that I'm losing 100 gold in income to the British. That means I need to choose a new future for this rising republic or monarchy. I'll go for a republic with a military focus. I immediately become an empire. Awesome. I must admit, my income jumped significantly right away. My armies got to work and honestly, I'm mostly on autopilot here. It's unlikely I'll have trouble defeating England's colonies. At this point, the 13 colonies are the second most powerful country in the world, right after Spain. I really don't know how the Spanish Empire has collapsed. Will Britain even manage to land troops on me? Oh wait, they do have some army nearby. Unfortunately, my recording software crashed, so you didn't get to see me win the War of Independence or a massive war against Spain, which had million-strong armies. But I did it! The United States is born. This country's ideas seem worse than those of a united colonial nation, at least in my opinion. Religion is now a problem for my country, unfortunately. But my income jumped nicely, almost to 1000 gold. And overall, I'm the second power in the world. My only rival might be the Spanish Empire, and I'd probably face a few tough wars with them. Maybe not as tough as the 7 Years' War that Prussia had to fight in this episode. I won't lie, those battles weren't the easiest.